Well, I know the address, but I got this one. Even better.
Try it. It's really wool.
I can pass it Thank you. You ready, Ken?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Everybody's here, so, okay, so we'll just start this work session. We called it organizational next steps. Just got a few things that just need to start planning on. I think the first one's an easy one, but it's up to the commission. With Commissioner Harrington's resignation, we have a vacancy. The current city commission procedural policy talks about not replacing that person if it's in the last 6 months of a term. So unless directed by the city commission, I think we would leave that vacant. We wouldn't advertise for that position. So any objection to that, or is that the course we'll take? Okay, so there's the easy one. Okay. Next is obviously with the departure of our city manager impending. Where do we go? So give a call to the Michigan Municipal League, who represents us, just to get some advice. They have a number of services that they offer. They can, just give general advice on issues. They can come down and talk to us if we had a topic that they needed to, we needed to get more information on, and that sort of thing. At this point, our normal process, I've gone through, three city managers, four city managers since I've been here. And the normal process is to appoint the assistant city manager as the interim city manager when the city manager is gone. We currently do not have an assistant city manager, so that's up in the air. In speaking with the MML, they gave us a number of options of what, the options are open, but their advice as to what they would do. So one of those options is to determine if there's someone on city staff that could fulfill that role on an interim period. The second is the Michigan Municipal Executives, MME, has a list of individuals that have served as a city manager in the past, whether they're retired or currently in between permanent gigs, that could serve as an interim. They put themselves out there. The MME does not advocate for any of these individuals. They do not certify that they are quality individuals. What they certify is that they have not had any issues with the ethics committee. So they have to at least be in good standing with the ethics committee of the MME. And so that is a list that we could look at. Additionally, the hiring of a new city manager, where do you want to go with that? We have a situation where, again, it's the last 6 months of Commissioner Harrington's term. It's also the last 6 months of 6 of the 9 positions that we have here on the commission. So with that impending election in November, where do you want to go? So in your packet, I presented to you the search firms from the MML. They said this gives you an idea about what they offer. We also received one from Pivot Group that was in your packet, and then just this past Sunday, I received one from Walsh Consulting, which I put on your desk. And so these are firms that obviously can help with the search of a city manager. The last time we did a search, used one of these firms, we also included Amy Sell LLC, and her firm is now part of Yo and Yo HR Advisory Solutions. There are others out there, but those are some that are out there. So I think at this point, I'm happy to try to guide the discussion. Obviously, we have our city manager, city attorney here to help in that discussion, but this exactly where we go, what are the organizational next steps is something we need to determine. Nothing that I think we have to determine today. We decided on Commissioner Harrington's position, so that's one thing. Nothing has to be decided today, but it is something we have to start thinking about. So there we go.
Any questions for Ken? I wouldn't mind suggesting that for the hiring of the next city manager, we create a committee, if you will, of 3 to go down that path with myself and a 2 others.
Say that again?
Create a committee to help guide us in this process.
So one of the things that was talked about, I think, last time I talked to Ken, I did speak with some other people on this. I know with Andrew, I did talk to the mayor and I think some other commissioners to utilize, which we don't heavily utilize any subcommittees for that purpose, but you could create a subcommittee of 3 members, not necessarily to speak, it would speak on behalf of vetting, coordinating documents, coordinating interviews on behalf of whichever search firm that is used. So not one single commissioner is making any statements or speaking one-on-one with any of the search firms. It would allow kind of for committee approach, and that the communication would flow through the city clerk, like last time, but the subcommittee.
No final decisions,
No,
no
yeah.
nothing, just putting together an
Yeah, it'd be more for, there's,
advisory board, if you will.
if you remember last time, there was a lot of, things that came in and then trying to coordinate meetings, getting the documents around, some, I guess, scheduling perfunctory decision-making. And the idea of a subcommittee is not a bad idea, just to kind of diversify that's there to make sure that, Ken has a group to bounce ideas off of or to talk to or to go to as this goes, because there's a lot of times these committees, these search firms will be reaching out during the day or the business, and the idea of getting a hold of a single commissioner that may have, number one, nobody has the authority to do anything outside of a majority of the commission, but if you did appoint that, it would allow for an advisory back, even if it was just to search out, to vet the 3 different potential firms, and then to come back with kind of those ideas. So, but that's totally within the purview of the commission if they wanted to create a subcommittee just for that purpose.
And Ken can be the one gathering all the information coming in, all the correspondence going back and forth. At least that's how I envision it.
Yeah, I would suggest a single point of contact and a single voice that coming through Ken, and then obviously once it comes time to hire that group, the city commission as a whole would agree by way of resolution, authorize the city to execute any type of contract and payment, whatever that would be. And then the same will go through. Once that is done, there would then be selecting of candidates, vetting of the candidates, and that would be done as an entire board. and again, the whole board would have to vote on whoever you chose. So,
Looking for volunteers?
Yeah.
No one wants to do it, I'll do it. I'll be on it.
Justin?
Put me on standby unless nobody else does it.
Dan?
I guess I would just ask, is that the consensus of the city commission to form a subcommittee at this point?
because I think we'd want to take action in open session to actually create it and then vote on who's gonna be on it.
And that's just choosing the,
The search firm.
right.
And kind of a way to move forward with that, as well as if there's any legwork that needs to be done once a search firm is selected to schedule and documents with the potential candidates that might be there.
And I guess I would just say the search firm would be hired upon such time that the city commission is ready to start searching for the next city manager.
Right.
So that is one of the issues that has to be determined. Are you in a position, are you interested in, beginning the process to hire a search firm to look for a city manager today? Or are you more interested in doing something in the interim? Again, you've got a lot of options at this point. But I think the committee, if what you're talking about is hiring, getting a committee together to pick a search firm, and let's just say you pick ABC executive search firm, that firm would be hired to hire a city manager. Are you prepared to do that, at this point?
Would the subcommittee of 3 individuals be the ones that are selecting the search firm?
No, the entire commission would hire the search firm. The subcommittee would contact, go through me and hire, get information about the search firm, and then those search firms, do you want to interview all, 7? Do you want to just pick one? So this is simply a subcommittee to discuss and determine the process to hire an executive search firm. However, once that executive search firm, let's say the subcommittee says pick ABC, bring that to the city commission decides, then that search firm would begin the process of seeking out a new city manager at that time, which, takes more than a few weeks, but again, what this commission at this point has to decide is, are they prepared to start searching for a new city manager today?
Well, I was never prepared to start looking for a city manager, to be honest with you, but certainly, yeah, I think that we should be, for sure. How soon or how quickly that can happen, I guess, is the question, and that's what we need to find out through all these searches and things. I just want to make sure that I'm understanding you right, though, in this subcommittee thing, trying to determine what this is going to look like. This subcommittee will be interviewing the potential clients, or will the whole commission be involved in that,
So
correct?
you could do it either way. You can have them narrow down to say, okay, we put this out for request. You could put an RFP out for a search firm, and then the subcommittee could help narrow down to the top 3, and then the commission as a whole interview the top, they bring recommendations. If the commission said, yeah, that seems right, and then the whole commission would interview those 3 search firms, then the city commission would vote on who they would select as the search firm. So, as opposed to having 3 or 4 work sessions and trying to coordinate everybody's schedule in this room to interview the search firms, they would try to pick the top 3 qualified groups and then have the commission as a whole do it at that point. Because, one of the things you have to look at is, do you put this out for, a request for proposal from different search firms? How does the commission want to handle that? Because you may get several more people reaching out and requesting that they be considered for that purpose.
Yeah, but if we did a bid, then again, you're prepared to hire, just like, we've got the Doyle roof bid on there. Once we put out that bid, we're prepared to do the roof upon such. So that, again, that's,
So I think what Ken is saying is, there are 6 seats up, July 21st is the filing deadline. Does the commission want to wait to see if there's going to be a likelihood or contention that there's going to be changeover in the commission? Or after that date, if nobody files to run for the seats other than the incumbents, then you want to move forward at that point. So the idea would be,
Gotcha.
do you want to potentially reserve the right for a new face of commissioners come November to make the decision moving forward, or sit and make the decision with the group now? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think that's,
It clarifies, because I
Yeah, that
was confused as to why
clarifies,
you were
yeah.
asking why we'd want to wait.
yeah, again, with 6 of 9 positions,
Yeah.
66% of the, potential change, and it's just potential change. How do you want to proceed? Or do you want to proceed with an interim for now and proceed later with the searching of a new city manager, which obviously, hopefully, lasts for quite some time?
I mean, to me, that makes the most sense as an interim, especially with the time constraints that we're under. And then we can take our time finding a good candidate.
good idea.
I think it's a good idea too.
As far as waiting, so.
I get an interim first and then do the search later.
That can be tricky.
I heard it proposed that we were talking about the filing deadline for commissioners.
Correct.
Is that the date you're basing, when to start the search, or after November?
Not necessarily. I mean, again, if you were to, based on, as the city attorney explained, if there are 3, 4 candidates for every seat that we have, all 6, then I have no idea who's going to be on there, who's going to be on the commission come November. If there are no contested races, and granted, the filing date for the writing candidacy isn't until 10 days before the election. But that would say a little bit more. But again, if we have contested races, then we could have a, major change in the people that are sitting in those seats right now.
So let's talk about the interim city manager. At what point would we, Andrew's here till July 24th?
We need to have something in place on July 25th. On July 25th, there has to be someone designated to sign documents and do that
Will
kind of
that
thing.
person be here prior to July 25th is my question.
This is the discussion,
That's
again.
That's what we're talking about.
This is, there-
Yeah.
this is why we're having this work session, because there's a
Yeah.
lot to discuss. So on July 25th, we need to have someone that would
Signing
act as the
documents.
CEO of the city, okay? You can decide, and you can change interims, frankly. You can decide that there's an internal candidate that'll be a short-term interim. You could then bring in someone from the MME group and interview some of those folks and have that person serve for X amount of time. It could be 2 months, it could be a year. Again, there's a lot to determine. And the proper thing is not
Wait.
obvious,
Yeah.
it's there's options.
And the interim would be through the MM?
Again,
Not necessarily through the hiring firm as well?
so I would doubt that you would use one of the executive search firms to come up with an interim. There is a list, there's about 12 to 15 individuals. I think I looked at it, I don't know that I know any of their names, but, and again, the MME does not endorse any of them. They just say all these people are qualified under the ethics. So whether that makes them good or bad is not there. Again, our typical was to just make the assistant city manager the interim candidate. You could choose a city staff member to just hold the fort for a short time, or again, get an experienced city manager. And how experienced they are, I'm sure there are some that are in their 60s and some that are in their 30s. So it's
Andrew, I know this is an awkward conversation for you, but what would be your advice for the city as far as interim or no interim or?
Well, I think you've got to have an interim of some form or fashion. I think Ken's laid out a pretty good list of your options in terms of internal candidate, external candidate, long-term, short-term. I think from what I've seen, if you're going with an external candidate, you may have some interviews to do through that process as well. So,
And would there even be anybody internally, remotely qualified?
I think that there are department heads who could serve in that role. It's just a matter of the commission's comfort level with an internal candidate.
The whole idea about an interim is that you're a placeholder. This is not a long-term solution.
Right.
So you're a placeholder. I don't imagine an interim is changing lots of things, but.
From a legal, they would have to assume, you'd probably enter some type of contract or agreement with them that they're gonna take on extra duties because their job title and duties would then shift and change from what they're currently doing. So if it's a department head,
Yeah, and that would tax that as well, so.
it would, but it would depend on who your candidate was and what whatever their department was and what staff and what support that they have currently. And I think too, the conversation would have to be realistically, to your point, the ability of them to essentially wear that hat for a period of time. Also, I think any interim that's coming in is not going to be doing a full-time, 50-plus hours a week that Andrew's been putting in, devoted simply to being the city manager. They're going to come in, there's going to be documents that are going to have to be authorized by the city manager per the charter, countersigned, so a large part of the interim title is the ability to continue business and sign documents and approve documents. They're going to be there to kind of oversee general administration. They're not going to be really diving into, they're going to be a placeholder. So the city's going to essentially, on a lot of the projects that are not already in motion, a lot of the other ones are going to be held at bay and maybe maintaining until such time as a full-time city administrator gets put in place. So while it does sound daunting and a lot of work, in one degree, they are not going to be responsible for all the job responsibilities that Andrew has as the full-time city manager. That's the reason they carry the title interim, and that is a whittled down job description. But there would have to be, if it's internal, even an external, we'd want to develop a description of what is expected, what we're expecting from them, or what the city commission's expecting from an interim. Is it just to sign documents and review upon, approval by the city commission? Or does the city commission looking for somebody to take more active role in different areas? So that's another thing with an interim you're going to have to decide.
So there's this is the ICMA is that what I'm thinking of, the International City Manager or whatever?
Yeah,
it is?
International City County Manager Association, ICMA.
Aren't there accreditations that have to be achieved to be a city manager to do certain things? Or is
No.
that not
No.
applicable at all?
No.
No, we, as the size of our city, we have, having candidates that have a master's in public administration has been, something that we could require but it's not required in any way, shape, or form.
Some of them are retired city managers as well.
Yeah, as I briefly looked at the list, it either said that they are retired or they are in between positions.
Okay.
And
So-
if it required something like that, it would probably take out all internal candidates.
What's that?
If it required something like that, we would.
Yeah, and again,
probably limit everybody to the city anyway.
as the city attorney explained, the interim is not going to be the long-term city manager. Now, I say that, you could get one of the MME guys that have all those qualifications, they serve as interim, and then there's nothing, we had that kind of happen before.
I would feel much more comfortable having a pro in that position, somebody that's done the job and not just kind of looking for somebody internally, personally.
So you're going IME first?
I mean,
Well, it makes sense.
no disrespect to any department heads or anything else, but they haven't ran a city. And I think that it's important to have somebody that understands what it is to take on all those additional responsibilities too.
And the only person I can think of that I would be remotely agreeable on doing it would be Julie. Well, no, in all seriousness, she's worked close to that position for enough
You're
years.
right, you're absolutely right. I'm not arguing, I'm not laughing at you because it's not untrue. I'm just-
But she might laugh at you too.
Can speak with a fair level of confidence that she might laugh at you. But
Well, and like you said, though, it could be just signing, not
Could be
really-
signing documents for now.
I mean,
but,
It does make a lot of sense. though,
But
because-
that's what we don't know. We're waiting
Until we
until.
find
What I would-
July.
Well, Adam,
what I would expect out of an interim is not just somebody who's going to be signing
That's what I'm
documents.
saying.
Yeah, right, no.
You're going to
You're
have,
gonna have-
you may not have someone who is going to be, I mean, I think there's a lot of different ways you can set that role up, but I wouldn't say that it would, the interim role. But I don't think you're just looking at somebody who comes in, signs some documents, and then heads out. There's going to need to be a level of oversight and review of all the different areas of the departments, moving certain projects along, things of that nature. So that may, I don't think that's always a full-time position sometimes. Sometimes you get people that will come in part-time and be here 3 days a week to do some of that work. Even the outside interim managers, that could be the case. So, but I wouldn't expect that it's just somebody who's gonna sign some documents.
additionally, in terms of hiring, if you were to wait until the election or sometime, I think it would be the number one priority after an election to find a full-time replacement. And I haven't read all these proposals, but I think, it's a 3 month process in that ballpark, so.
I don't think we can wait that long. We need to get on it now.
And remember too, it's a 3-month process. If you do it after an election, the holidays are there, so that's going to,
Yeah,
in all reality, delay that 3-month process.
if we were gonna hire an interim, we'd almost have to have him for about a year if we were gonna wait till after the elections to do anything.
When you got the holidays, it'll be next year.
Yeah.
I'm sure Mike Hughes would want a part-time job. Just putting it out there.
And weekends?
Yeah.
I think we need to go with the interim option first and then start looking for someone for a permanent position.
I agree. I
That
think
sounds-
it should
that
be
sounds
somebody
best.
That's
Is that a consensus?
Experience.
experienced.
Experience,
in the role,
yeah,
too.
experience and
Agreed.
agreed. Aaron? Haven't heard anything from you? No, you don't wanna do that, or?
Shouldn't be here. So I don't care to share comment right now.
So interim,
Okay, so I guess how would you want to proceed? I mean, are you thinking that choosing someone from the MME list?
It seems like the simplest.
yeah,
approach.
seems logical, yeah.
Okay. So how would you want to proceed with that? Because again, the MME does not endorse anyone. They just, here's a list of names. I think there's 12 or 15 individuals on that list. So how would you want to proceed with that?
Are they gonna, if we reach out to them, are they gonna send their resumes, or we already have the resumes?
I think there might be some resumes or something like that, but
Okay.
certainly that, I'm sure they all have them at the ready.
I did
Andrew?
take a look at the MME lists, kind of shortly after, this kind of broke before we set up this meeting. It looks like there may be some regional availability, so some are gonna be a little bit closer to the Sturgis area. We may wanna use that as maybe the starting point to look at who's available. They're gonna have different schedules available to them in terms of their availability for times of the year, how often they're willing to work, those types of things. So we may want to use some of those metrics as a way to revise the list and then ask for resumes and further information.
Now, what's the cost associated with doing this? Do MME?
There's no cost to seek them out. The cost will be determined by the city commission and that individual that was chosen.
Okay.
A separate agreement would be developed.
We don't hire the MME to do any part of this. It's just us going out to these individuals. They
Right.
just maintain the
I don't know
list.
if there was a small fee for,
No, all they have is the list. We have a list
Okay.
of names.
okay,
That's it.
I think that's the direction.
So with the request to the MME, then we should probably specify a length of time, right, duration that we're looking for?
I think we would need to develop a number of questions, just like Andrew said, where are you located? How often, are you willing to be here? What are your qualifications? What's your salary? There's a whole host of questions that, this is in essence, not hiring the city manager, but hiring someone. And so what are those questions that?
Some of that is on the MME website that shows some of those things. So it might make sense to generate a list, talk about what the constraints are, maybe bring that to a future commission meeting and let the commission kind of decide who we want to pursue from there.
Sound good, everybody?
Not really.
Now sound
We'll
good
have
to
to do.
everybody that wants to do it?
We'll have to do.
So what would you like, what would your next steps for me to be? I'm sure everybody hasn't been to their website. I can try to put together the information that they have out there and send that out to you. And then I think at the next commission meeting, we could just talk about this again and see, all right, let's ask them these questions or, I don't know.
See what they say, yeah. That sounds fair.
Do you need specific questions from us, like?
I don't think at this point. I think I think you should start thinking about that. So I'll send you the list with as much information that they have provided. And then you should start thinking about how are you going to
put
decide?
together some questions.
Yeah, I'm on the site now, and there's 15 of them or so on there.
Right.
I'll have like a little bio and things, so maybe we can all look at them and
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to send it to, well, I'll just send you the link to their page. It's a one page that they have John Smith and John Doe and, all these different individuals.
So you're gonna send us the link and we'll just look through each candidate, come up with questions, and mail the questions to you and TJ?
Yeah, I think at this point, to get it started, I mean, if you want to send questions now and we just have that discussion, I think we need to, as a group, form how do we proceed with seeking one out. Because obviously, if there's somebody in the UP and they have no interest in coming down here at all, then that's probably not
Right.
somebody that's going to fit the bill.
Sure.
So, in addition to questions, could you maybe look, if all commissioners are gonna review the website for this, would you wanna have like a group of 3 individuals you think might be useful? So that you've already narrowed it down by the time you come here next time, because in 2 more weeks, it's gonna be less than 2 months, and 2 months goes really fast.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we started with, was 3 people that would be on the committee to do that.
No, I think he was talking about, do you look at the list and you have 3 candidates that are
Now, each one pick up.
your
the
top 3?
candidate they
And you may be able to do that, you may not, but if you can,
like. That's a good idea.
That's a good
I
idea.
mean, if you all looked at it and it's like, we all want number 4, well, okay, that's something.
is that our assignment? Start looking through the names?
Start looking through the names.
Yeah, like I said, I can just send you the link. It's the
Okay.
MME website, it's,
Okay. TJ, you good with that?
Yeah, I was just asking, do we know how often MME updates that? I mean, have those names been there for a year and some of those people may have decided they're.
I have not, I can find that out.
Okay, just,
Yeah, just, if John Smith has moved to California, and yeah, sure, absolutely.
No, I mean, I think that makes sense to me.
Okay.
All right, I don't know. The only other thing, the MML talked about was that they do have on-site seminars if you're interested in having them come down to discuss any topics. They provide that type of service. So that's up to you guys.
We'll just start with the names and we'll just pick out 3 and go for there.
Yeah, that was on the interim. I was just saying that the MML, they provide on-site seminars about being a commissioner, you know, different types of things like that. So if you're interested in that, that's something that they were just, you know, as I was talking to them, this is the services that they provide. So.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything else that we need to do at this point, so,
All right.
Thanks, Ken.
yep.
Mr. Mayor, if you have some time, I'd like to introduce staff, if you like. If we have time before you break, before 6 o'clock, I do have staff here that I want to introduce.
Sure. Andrew, you okay with that? Okay.
So, we have Patrick Berterice, who is back here, and he is the engineering projects manager that the city has hired
Oh, great.
for the engineering department to take over. So, and I'll give a 5-minute about himself.
Okay, come on.
Just kidding.
You can take 10 minutes to talk about Barry.
Also, where's the sign-in sheet?
Oh, yeah.
Say it. No, don't feel obligated.
Hello, I'm Patrick. I just started, this will be my 4th week. I'm looking forward
Could
to,
you,
Could you get the mic?
Thank you.
looking forward to starting my role here as the engineering portion of the city. I live in Portage right now, so making a little bit of a trip, but it's not too bad so far, so everything is really good. So I appreciate starting here and looking forward to continuing the engineering department here at Sturgis. So.
All right, well, you at least got the orange color down pat, so, fits right in. All right. So next will be the 6 o'clock meeting. All right.
Smoke my gun.
Smoke if you got it.
Marv, you got 15 minutes of stand-up ready for us? You have 15 minutes of stand-up comedy for us?
No.
No? Just start with 5. That's me.
6 o'clock meeting.
What is this for?
This is for personal information, mostly.
My social security number, bank account, credit card.
That's fine, yeah.
For Big Brother.
This is for the public.
Yeah.
You got brains with that cheese.
Everybody that can.
If it was me, it'd be all over my shirt.
Get it going. I get it.
Can't miss it, no.
I was,
Part of the process that they have. It's actually easier than it used to be. We used to have a clerk reporter that had to
Coming in.
type out the entire thing when, first time we did it.
stenographer in there.
Stenographer, getting paid as stenographer. That was actually about it.
Maybe they never got up.
You get your wife?
No.
Come on. She's name?
Possible, been here a long time? No, possible.
supposed to come home, make surgery she had yesterday. Oh, well.
If you need a ride, I'm available tomorrow, Friday.
There's one thing that we forget about. For sale. Well, Harry, you gotta bring an assistant with you.
That was a trip. Who all went?
Shouldn't be.
It's awesome.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
10 years ago.
You did.
Got to see Franz and Patricia too, obviously.
Yeah.
But I stayed with a couple of
Shouldn't even talk about it, to be honest.
they're both retired.
Shouldn't even be in the conversation.
Justin, you're leaving at 7? What time are you gonna be back? You might not be. Okay.
Doesn't
Meeting's not going that long.
not a lot.
Well.
It is a long.
Your girlfriend make it back? Okay.
Well,
That's your fiance.
Her fiance.
no,
Fiance.
he has, he just has. He wouldn't be in agreement with the Green Party.
Yeah, she seems very outgoing.
Oh, yeah, she's awesome.
Thank you, thank you. You didn't keep talking about this though.
Keeps me in line.
Yeah.
We have a public hearing in front of that.
You did?
Ken, do you need the presentation, we have it loaded, right? Part of the commission packet, so.
I've got, yeah, I've got it all over. No, the PowerPoint will be right in there. Yeah, for sure.
It'll be on the back of the top wheel.
You guys done?
Well, I'm done. Thank you. Thank you. Did you see any that
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. part of my trip was in Florida. It really was for some reason, it was really hard. But I did really coming back, so I took some people to, yeah. But I'm not going to friends. Even though I do, I thought it was good. Yes, we did. I did.
It's up to you. You might not sleep if you got hot towel. It's up to you. I mean, it might not be bad. I mean, yeah, you can just, you can coordinate with Ken if you want him to speak, because you just want to start it off.
On the
It's
way
up to you.
out, and then the way back, I had to jump over Kennedy. He's from just south of Indianapolis, not far from the Grand Valley. He's really nice, it was nice, that makes sense.
Both ways, we were outside.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. I did something different though, and on the way back, it was good.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'll just pull up the
And
proclamation,
I've
but,
traveled.
I mean, you can,
But those are.
I can read it, or you can just have it up there, you know,
This,
so.
I wanted the window seat to see.
About Beazle? Yeah, I think probably during that thing, I think that'd probably be a good time to do it, so, yeah.
Oh, thanks. As soon as the doors were closed. This last Lysol spray helps get away. It went back and forth, the whole plane spraying on that. It was just a fog.
Are you kidding me?
The fog, the whole plane.
Were you in it? I've never heard such a thing. I do. I have never heard of it.
So I just put my shirt over my nose and that's all you can do really. It's just taking up space.
I still remember this great when I first went. And I was, I go to do, there were some concerns, and, you know, you feel like just an elephant. I mean, that's all I remember, it's just like you push me in a direction and go that way. But then, you know, yeah, it was Matt's like me. And he was the technician, and it was just like, it's okay, it just made me feel like I was just, I mean, it was, I still did believe it. But I told him years later, I said, and when he just left, I said, but it's certain people just have the ability to just, you know, make you feel.
Jeff, who was the last time
He
you
is
went
like,
to Germany?
2015 or 16?
16. 10 years?
yes,
I think I was
it
in
is.
Mission
Yes,
Mtg
it is.
following.
There was pictures of you there.
Oh, yeah? You really want, I'm sure.
This is the nicest thing I've done in my grandmother. No, stay is the nicest guy. It is, because everything's so good. Warm,
Where we at?
I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Versus the, either.
It's just different, it's different, that's the state organization, I see. So it's just getting mobilized, that's gonna be the best place to start.
I think I got home about 1:45 or so. It didn't have to drive that night. Got to go the next morning, which was better.
Thank you.
It was a good learning experience to just some things to just tweak and sure that yeah, I think I got figured out what the issue, and I think it is solvable. So that part is good. Hopefully, it'll be earlier next in August.
Always love sanitation. So the exact same number you said, so I just put a cover letter indicating that, PC attached, we said first class mail, address, but, anyway, it was signed, I mean, I'm not surprised. Oh, we didn't get that. But anyways, so we did send it. Okay. When? what are you talking about? Stay in your lane, Mr. House. Did you golf? Did you golf party last weekend? Last week? So we played. It was fun. We had the weather was good. It was nice. It was a good turnout. I had to stick around. I got a bunch of stuff on my track. Oh, that's right. We had to be at the end of the green. Took first place and shot at the John Green. Oh, records were set was boy shot put set the record. Matthew set the record shot. Yeah. He's strong. Yeah, he was one of the 4x1. He was on the state championship team. State championship also 4x1. Yeah. Yep. Yep. So he said, I think there was another there were a couple of broke the record there for I could be 6 foot 6 inches. He missed the barrel. He kicked it down. It might be he this kid. This kid didn't have any braces. He was a jumper. Not created equal. There's some of those kids who watch. Yeah, there's some that and they'll technique and speed.
Okay, we'll call this meeting to order. Welcome, everyone. If you can, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Wiki, would you lead us in prayer?
Sure. Let's pray. Lord, we come to you tonight and just ask for your presence in this meeting. We ask that you would bring us wisdom, and God, that you would see that this city is kept safe. And just pray that you'd help us make decisions tonight. I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Roll call, City Clerk.
Commissioner Burr.
Here.
Commissioner Boring.
Here.
Commissioner Wiki.
Here.
Commissioner Smith.
Here.
Commissioner Abs.
Here.
Commissioner Miller. Here. Vice Mayor Mullins.
Present.
Mayor Perez.
Here. Moving on with the agenda, we have a presentation tonight. The Weeslock Sister City 60th anniversary. Mr. Ken Rhodes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We didn't get a chance to adopt this proclamation prior to everybody going out there, but as far as I know, this was presented at a there we go. Presented at to the mayor of Wieslow, and this proclamation commemorates the 60th anniversary. So in 1966, we signed documents that said we're going to participate with Wieslow, and we have enjoyed 60 years of great relationship, and we were able to renew that. So I don't know if, Mr. Mayor, now is the time that people want to share some of your thoughts about the Wieslow trip, or not.
Yes, for those that were here on the April 22nd meeting, Commissioner Malone spoke and he gave us a synopsis of what to expect, and it was everything he said it would be. We had a great time. I have never been to a community in which they open and welcome you with arms wide open. I was a little myself, a little scared, not knowing what to expect, sleeping at a person's house that I've never met before. And it was, I walked in as a stranger and left as friends. It was unbelievable, the hospitality that we received, their generosity, their kindness, they really put on a great week for us. Any of you that attended want to chime in, please do so, and then you as well, Commissioner Malone.
I would like to reiterate that. It was an amazing experience. The people were wonderful to us. I can't speak highly enough, and I would love to hopefully have them coming back over as soon as we can arrange that. It was very, very good time.
Good evening, everyone. I hope everybody got their trinkets and treasures from Wieslock back safe and sound. I did, and maybe I'll share. Anyway, it was once again a tremendous trip, as I anticipated. They do not disappoint. You're there for 5 minutes, and you pick up where you left off with that friendship and caring on it. You know, every time I make new friends there, as well as endearing those relationships. I'm so thrilled that that's alive and well. I'm thrilled that those of you that were able to attend, that you also were greeted in exactly the way that I expected that you would be, and they continue to provide a great leadership to us in how that should exist, and so thankful for that cultural exchange. Thank you. Thank you for letting me be part of it.
No, definitely.
Any chance when they come over, the county can kick in some funds for us?
I would love to say yes, and personally, as an individual, I'll be happy to assist in cost on that, but unfortunately, we have the same budget constraints as you guys do, so I won't commit for them, but for me personally, I'm happy to spend from my own to help provide for them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good question.
Anybody else?
No, you know, it was just hitting me as you were talking. The title of it is Our Sister City.
Mm-hmm.
And as you were talking about, it's in 5 minutes, there's a connection. And it kind of is like the sister and brother committee. I mean, I hadn't seen Scheidheimers for 18 years. And it was the same. It was as if, just like you said, you started up right where you left off. I mean, and then we had a new family. And I think one of the things that was interesting to me, there are some differences, but basically many things are the same. You know, it's amazing. We're a long ways away, but some of the same issues, some of the same positives, some of the things you talk about, generations, and that really was no different. It really wasn't. But the hospitality is almost to the point being uncomfortable, because they just want to do everything for you. You know, they're not used to being waited on like that. It's over the top.
I had a visitor my second day in, messaged me on Facebook and says, "Hi, Mr. Perez, I am a Sturgis grad. I graduated a couple years ago. I'm here studying. I'm a Western student. I just finished my bachelor's degree with Western, and I'm doing, I think, an 8-month program, and I'll graduate with a degree from Germany as well when I finish my my program here. Can I come meet you guys? I want to meet. I want to be around Sturgis folks." And I'm like, looking at my phone like this is kind of like a setup here. I don't know how to respond. And then like 30 seconds later, he goes, "By the way, I'm Rick Bird's grandson." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I still didn't believe him. And I called Rick. I don't know what time I called you, but it's 6 hours later. I'm like, "Rick, I got some guy named Tyler Sweet wanting to says he's your grandson." And Rick's like, "He is." I said, "Okay." So I said, unfortunately, I'm a guest here. I can't say come. I'll send you the agenda, but I can't make a decision for you to come. You would have to ask the organizers. And he did, and he showed up at our farewell dinner. I mean, it was great to see that.
Glad you met all of them.
And he said he really loves you. And Commissioner Malone said, "I'm sorry about that, but it was nice of him to come out and join us."
Here's one more thing. Not political comment, but I think this is really important for everyone to hear. You're always a little concerned with politics today, and you don't want to talk about it. But I heard from two individuals. We heard it at dinner, and I heard it again from my host family. The indebtedness that they feel towards Americans, and I'm not saying it's all people in Germany. It took me back.
Yeah.
They literally said to us, "We will never forget that Americans are why we are free." And it's awfully nice to hear, from someone from another country where, political entities don't necessarily get along. And it was sincere. And I heard that twice. So I thought I should mention that.
Yeah, that was great. When that gentleman spoke, it did hit home on that. Anybody else?
I'll just echo everybody else's comments, and in addition to that, it was a very healing time. Our family we stayed with had a daughter that is my age and my wife's age, and they became parents to us for a week, and it was a healing time. Another highlight for me, speaking of guests, was that the gentleman who came and was an exchange student in our house here in Sturgis back in 1988, when I was a baby, was from Wieslok, and he actually came to one of our gatherings, and so I saw him for the first time in 38 years. And he FaceTimed my dad, and it's a good reconnection. So the whole point about what Dwight Eisenhower embarked on back in the 1950s was friendships and forming links between countries, and the core mission remaining today is still very clear, so it's important.
So with that, Ken, I got the mayor of Wieslow and Tina. Can't remember her last name. Wanted me to give you this as a token of appreciation for setting this up. So, thank you.
Well, thank you. That's very nice. All right.
Airplane pillow?
I've had the pleasure of trying to just coordinate, and that's all I do is coordinate this program for, it's been about 20 years now, and I've learned a lot and was able to go many years ago, and I'm glad my Deputy Anna was able to experience this group. It's a heck of a thing, so thank you.
Yeah, I didn't open it, but there might be some souvenirs.
All right.
I just picked one, and
Okay.
so if you
Well,
find
thank
some,
you.
just send them my way.
It's awesome. Thanks.
I can tell you this, being Mexican-American and going over to Germany, well, there's no Mexican food. We landed, we got back in Sturgis about 5:30, and by 6:30, I was at Maria's having tacos, so, I was, freaking out there for a while with the different sausages and cabbage and all the stuff that I don't eat, but, I guess I helped in my weight loss. I'm down 17 pounds, so it was a good week. All right, if there's nothing further on that, we'll move on to the visitors section. If there's any visitors out there that'd like to make a public comment for items not listed on the agenda, please come to the podium, state your name and address. You have 2 minutes.
Good evening, John Michaelinas. I'm at 909 Marion Trail. I think one of the reasons that small towns use a style of government with a professional city manager is because candidates for city council often run unopposed. This can result in council members that are unqualified. The operation of the city government is the sole responsibility of the city manager, with the city council acting in an oversight capacity. As long as rules are followed, a flawed council can't do much damage. The problem as I see it is you have often chosen to bend the rules. You meddle in employee matters that are not your purview. You have publicly stated that you're willing to ignore rules if they don't meet your personal opinion of what is right. Your opinion of what is right is not relevant. Opinions vary. Rules and laws are unyielding. They're the guardrails that protect society and its ability to function. I believe that our honorable city manager issued the typical public statement regarding work-life balance, etc., so to do as little damage as possible to the process of replacing him. I believe that the four of you, Commissioners Abbs, Smith, Burr, and Mayor Perez, note that the untenable position you often placed him in regarding issues over which you should have no authority may have finally left him no choice. I suspect that you have other department heads nearing the same decision. Let me ask you this. What high-quality candidate for city manager in their right mind would apply for a position where half the city council is openly hostile to and undermines management and staff, where the very mayor has expressed his willingness to break the law in order to promote his opinion of what is right? I don't think the four of you thought this through. The mess you've made could take years to clean up. And Mayor Perez, in my view, anyone facing a vote of censure or fitness for office should do the honorable thing and abstain from vote. Twice, you cast a timed vote to save your own skin. The fact that fully half the city council finds you unfit for that office should give you pause. Thank you, and may God bless us and our fair city.
Thank you, John. Is there anybody else that'd like to make a public comment for items not listed on the agenda?
Galen Geigley, 26290 M86. Little
Welcome.
context, I have an aviation business up in Hastings Airport. I've built and developed over 25,000 square feet of buildings up there. We have a good business. The airport up there is very welcoming to us. Basically, they're very open-minded to pro-growth. So unfortunately, my experience with the city of Sturgis has been completely the opposite. What should have been a straightforward private hangar project turned into a year and a half of delays, escalating requirements, repeated reviews, constantly changing demands. And I want to make it clear, this is just not my opinion tonight. You can talk to the contractors, the builders, developers, and business owners throughout this area, and you'll hear the same thing repeatedly. The reputation of the building department in Sturgis is extremely poor. In the beginning, I contacted multiple builders. Two of them flat out told me they would not do work in the city of Sturgis because they would not deal with this building department. That should concern everyone here tonight, because cities grow and businesses and individuals want to invest there. Cities decline when they decide it's easier to go somewhere else. So in December of 2024, I submitted plans to Tom to build a small 64 by 64 private aircraft hangar at the Sturgis Kirsch Municipal Airport. After reviewing the plans, I was informed that an environmental impact study would need to be completed. I then researched the issue and reviewed FAA guidance, NEPA requirements, federal streamline directives, and including the Executive Order 13807 regarding more efficient environmental review and permitting process. Based on that research, it became very clear that a privately funded hangar project with minimal environmental impact and no direct federal construction funding would not require the level of environmental review that was being discussed. I presented the information to the city. Despite that, the environmental review process continued to move forward anyway. I was told the study could take up to 6 months and cost approximately $10,000 to $12,000. So at that point, I stated that if the city insisted on moving forward with it, I would be willing to pay for it up front if the city would amortize that cost over the next 10 years through my lease payments. So the city didn't have to come up with money. I was going to front the money, and then we could amortize that out. Nothing was ever finalized regarding that discussion. The environmental process continued. The plans continued. The site plan process continued. FAA reviews, elevations, lighting, obstruction clearances were completed and sent in. Then finally, earlier this year, Tom informed me to proceed with the building permit process with Will so we could finally move forward. At that point, I thought, well, we're finally making progress. So I met with Will, I submitted the building prints, electrical application was submitted, engineered plans, all the requested documentation. He said he would do a plan review and get back to me. Several weeks later, I received a list of 16 additional items and requirements. Some of those included additional engineering requests for footers, laminated posts, truss carriers, fasteners, and despite the building already being professionally engineered and stamped, I spent additional money, I obtained additional engineering, I revised the documents, I resubmitted everything back to the city. Then after another several week delay, I was told we needed another meeting. At that meeting, Tom and Will and I sat down to review everything again. At that point, additional concerns were brought up regarding future water service to the hangar area. Then suddenly I was informed that the site plan that I had already submitted was no longer acceptable and that I now needed a fully engineered site plan. This was despite the fact that there's already an ALP, an airport layout plan, showing hangar locations, measurements, and development areas. This is despite the fact that septic approvals had already been issued based upon the submitted site plan. This was despite the fact that the FAA elevation locations and everything had been submitted and reviewed. I was then informed that I would need to hire an outside architect or engineer to complete the engineering site plan at an estimated cost of another $3,000 to $4,000. Will said he already had contacted someone for me, and here's his number. It's a good deal because he thought it would be like $10,000. At that point, I was frustrated, but I still continued trying to make the project work. Then the process escalated even further. Tom had to leave the meeting because time ran out. Will was 30 minutes late to the meeting to start with. So Tom left, and then the conversation changed completely. I was then told that the engineer that I had used for the generic soil compaction rate for the area was no longer acceptable. I was told I now need to have bore sampling performed on the site to determine the exact compaction rate so the footers could potentially be re-engineered, even though every pole building in this entire area has used the same compaction rates. Then I was informed that I also need engineered temporary truss bracing plans showing how the trusses would be temporarily supported during construction, even though professionally engineered permanent bracing plans were already included, stamped with the truss package. Like my licensed insured contractor is going to put up trusses and not brace them properly before he has the permanent bracing installed. On top of that, additional engineering was demanded for the front of the building surrounding the aircraft door opening, even though I had already submitted engineered documentation directly from Higher Power Doors to manufacture the hydraulic hangar door being installed. Their engineering clearly stated the door was fully
Mayor,
self-supporting.
Mayor, if you're gonna let it go beyond 2 minutes, you're gonna have to make a motion on the floor from the commission to change the rules after announced. And if you make it for this one, you have to make it for everybody. So you need to pause this.
I was just caught up in listening to him. Does anybody else want to listen to more? I do.
I got about a minute and a half yet.
You need to make a motion.
I would like to
Somebody
honor
needs to make a
this.
motion, support to have it extend, and then you can change the rules for tonight. But it is in the policy, and in order to follow your policy, you should be uniform to that.
Say that again.
Everyone gets 5 minutes, right?
So everybody gets 5 minutes?
No, you have to make a motion on the floor to extend the 2 minutes to a set period of time. They have to be supported and vote on it in order to change the policy.
Sorry about that, sir. I just
Yep.
got tuned into what you were saying, so
No problem.
So we need a motion for him to continue on to us for a minute and a half.
You need, or whatever time you want, but it has to be uniform for anybody who wants to speak.
Okay,
So you did limit Mr. Michaelinas to 2 minutes, and he made his within 2 minutes.
okay.
So
okay.
you would also, to be fair, to avoid anything, open it back up to Mr. Michaelinas if he would like to speak again. So if you want to say 5 minutes, then he would reserve 3 additional minutes if he wished. It's up to the commission how they want to proceed, but you do have a
What's
policy in
the-
place that was announced.
What's the wish of the commission?
Keep the 2 minutes.
I would stick to 2, I would like to stick into the
Well,
2-minute time limit.
So you only need a motion if you're going to extend the 2 minutes.
Okay.
I can come back to the next meeting and finish it. Thank you.
Thank you. And that is my fault, sir. I was tuned into what you were saying, so I do apologize for that. Apologize to this commission.
My name is John Bartelt, 1301 West Lafayette Street, Sturgis, Michigan.
John, you got 2 minutes.
I am the owner of Bartelt Aviation. I want to thank everybody for allowing me to speak. My objective tonight is to share some concerns and frustrations that I have experienced, as Galen is experiencing, with the city commission so that the city commission and the city can work together to become better. A little bit of background on my issues were my mother passed away in October of 2023. I needed to get a building ownership change from her name to mine and get a lease for the building. My assessor experience can be described as dysfunctional and extremely difficult. Something as simple as changing ownership should not be that hard. Due to the 2-minute time limit, it would be good for me to come back when there's more time, but I can go over several discrepancies, which I can provide documentation that the assessor conducted. In the end, I hired legal counsel to facilitate the transfer of ownership, and he told me to take the deal because it would cost more with legal representation than the discrepancy in what the final outcome of the assessment was. The other issue I've had is I've never been able to get a land lease for this building that I've now taken ownership. I am not throwing people under the bus. What this is about is how do we get better so that businesses like mine expand and grow in the community versus leave. I'm in the phase of the next phase of the company, and the next phase of the company is going to be 30 years without me. And whether I do that here in Sturgis or elsewhere is going to be determined on how the city feels and wants to work with us or make changes.
John is 2 minutes.
That's it? Okay. I'll have to come back.
Is there anyone else that'd like to make a public comment for items not listed on the agenda?
Yeah, Danny King, Sturgis Aviation, 901 West Lafayette. My concerns are jet fuel at the airport. We're currently out of jet fuel and they can't refuel the tanks because I guess there's an issue with contamination. And that's been going on for a month. Practically all of our customers, we do the light to mid-corporate type airplanes out there. So when they come in, we have them come in light because we have to defuel airplanes. So now we're having issues of them leaving. Actually, 2 weeks ago, I had to go to Elkhart in my pickup with a tote and get some kerosene for an airplane to leave. I know we were out of avgas for over a year. So, you know, if we're not gonna have jet fuel for a year, that's really gonna affect our business. We've been there 26 years. So, more concerns about the airport. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. King. Is there any other Visitor like to make a public comment for items not listed on the agenda?
Please forgive me, I'd be remiss, I should say 1102 Meadow Lane, Sturgis, Michigan. I'd be remiss if I did not speak to, as far as Ana Garcia coming to represent the city from the administration side. You couldn't have had anybody do a better job than she did. She represented so well. She was very endearing to the people there, so much that she, along with Commissioner Mullins, or excuse me, Vice Mayor Mullins, were actually invited back for a smaller celebration in Fronweiler at the end of July. And if they want something formally, I'm told they will gladly send that out too. But she did an amazing job on it, and you guys should be very proud of her actions there. The only other thing is Andrew, it's been my pleasure for 18 years to know you. You've done an amazing job. I've watched your growth here. You've taken on so many different roles here and served us so well, and I thank you. I pray you peace. I pray you success wherever you go. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Commissioner Malone. Anyone else like to make a public comment for items not listed on the agenda? Okay, moving on with the approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Do we have a motion? Oh,
We
sorry.
got another comment.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. Kelly Bartelt Aviation. Due to all the airport issues that people are speaking about, can that be on the agenda at the next meeting?
City manager?
Sure, we can do a work session on the report.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
A work session? Okay.
Well, it'll either be work session or on the agenda. We'll see
Okay.
what the rest of business looks like.
Okay, moving on to the approval of the agenda. I think we had a motion.
Motion. Support.
Support, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
So we have a motion.
Support.
Support, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Moving on to unfinished business, and we have none tonight. Moving on to new business, we have a public hearing for the DWSRF project plan. Mr. Barry Cox.
Good evening, Mayor Perez, Vice Mayor Mullins, City Commission. So, we have a presentation this evening on the DWSRF loan project plan that the city is looking to submit before June 1st. And Jeremy here is with Fishback to go through it. Have you opened the public hearing yet?
We're going to open a public hearing.
All right, so he's going to do a presentation, and there'll be an opportunity for residents, commission to ask questions, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Barry?
Hello, everyone. Jeremy Kramer with Fishbeck, here to present about the project plan. You may remember we've done this before. A few years ago, we had another project plan that has since expired. This is a new one, slightly different, and I'll go through those changes here. So the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund is a program designed to assist water suppliers in satisfying the requirements of the Safe Drinking Water Act by offering low-interest loans. It is administered by Eagle, and the application for the funding is this project plan. And the meeting minutes and the sign-in sheet from the meeting here go into that project plan. So that's what we'll be getting here tonight, and then we submit that to Eagle for scoring. Again, if you recall the last project plan, it was a little bit more extensive. There was a few more projects in the last plan, including water main replacement, and then also some road reconstruction. This new plan is strictly for lead service line replacement. So these are a few things that I'm going to go over here in the next few slides. Again, this public meeting is part of the plan, so there was an advertisement that was put on the city's website. And again, the project plan is there for public viewing and comments. So here's the summary of project needs. The map you see there that's bound by Nottawa, Lafayette, Lakeview, and Chicago is the project area. This is the area that we're going to be focusing on, and there you'll see about 477 services that either need replacement or partial replacement because of lead lines. Total project costs, capital costs is about $3.2 million. The design life of these water services is 50 years. Total project costs is 3.6 million. That will create a user rate increase of approximately $5 per month. So again, the past project plan had a little bit more of information about these environmental evaluations. In this case, because it's a lead service line replacement, it's pretty simple. You know, there's existing services where we're going to be replacing new services. So again, no direct historical archaeological impacts are expected because again, the service is already existing. We're replacing them with new ones. Natural environment, again, land water interface. The proposed project will not affect surface water or groundwater quality. Agricultural land is not impacted. There are no negative impacts on wetlands or endangered species. Social and economic impacts. Positive impact is, of course, the replacement of the lead service lines, increased water system quality and reliability, and then, of course, the city's compliance with the Safe Drinking Water Act. Some mitigations of impacts that we'll have, again, big project area. The replacement of any given water service line is not a large excavation. So they'll go through, you know, when the project is, if we get the money and the project moves forward, the contractor will go throughout the area in a organized fashion and replace the services that we have them replace. So again, normal construction traffic, I would say. There probably won't be wholesale excavations of roads, so not large detours. It's mostly done with flagmen, warning signs, and some barricades and cones. Local traffic would all be maintained. Air emissions, of course, this is construction, so there is some heavier equipment. Dust control will be used if there is any dust, and of course the heavy equipment will have the proper exhaust. Same thing with noise control. Again, mufflers on everything, and it would be, the project work hours would be minimized and in accordance with any city ordinances that may be affected by it. Restoration, again, for any given water service, whether it's a new tap at the water main or connections to the house, we're talking 10 by 10, 8 by 8 excavations. Any pavement would be restored in kind. Same with grass and sidewalk, curb and gutter, and things like that. Because of the smaller excavations, soil erosion and sedimentation control is not a big deal, but of course there will be best management practices for protecting any stormwater inlets or anything like that while there is open excavation. Any questions?
Any questions from the public? So we'll go ahead and close the public hearing?
Yep.
Okay. Any questions from the commission?
Thank you, Jeremy. With that,
Barry, you got anything else?
So before you this evening is a resolution regarding the draft project plan for consideration for approval. So if the commission approves or adopts the resolution, we will finalize the project plan and get it submitted before June 1st to make us eligible for the DWSRF lead service line replacement project monies that are out there. And basically because this was a very focused area where the state has monies left over and available, it is an opportunity that we didn't explore the last time around. I really did not anticipate originally going after additional DWSRF funds, but with this money is basically available in 2027 only. You know, it seemed like a good opportunity for us to really make a significant impact in what we have in front of us yet over the next 10 years, 11 years to get this project and this issue resolved. So.
Questions for Barry?
Yeah, just one, thank you. Barry, the money is available in 2027, and am I reading it right that it has to be completed within 5 years? The work? It says the project plan is good for 5 years once completed and approved by Eagle.
Right. That's the project plan itself. That's not the project. It wouldn't have, I mean, we would expect the lead service line replacement, you know, if we did get funded, construction probably 27 and maybe 28 to do all that work. But yeah.
We're looking at a 1 to 2 year time frame. So once, assuming the city gets the grant funding, we'll have to design the project. It will probably start sometime next year under that, but it may not get completely done during 2027, so we would have potentially another year to accomplish that. So the 5 year thing is, as Jeremy mentioned, that is really just for the project plan. So if by some instance there was additional federal monies that became available to the state and they would be willing to have, you know, dispense them, which is possible, we still have this project plan available even if this particular cycle we didn't get funded. We're very hopeful for this particular cycle to get funded, however.
Yes, we are. And yeah, so there is no expiration on money being available based on time it takes to perform the service.
No, I mean,
No.
Once you get the loan documentation and everything
Okay.
squared away, I believe it's actually 3 years for completion.
Yeah, I have to check. I'm sorry.
3 for completion?
3 years to do the actual physical work.
Yep, okay.
I think that's what we talked about back in February.
Nothing further, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Mr. Mayor, I move that the Sturgis City Commission adopt the resolution adopting the DWSRF project plan for water system improvements and designating an authorized project representative.
So we have a motion.
Second.
And support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
So
you,
we're
Barry.
actually, we are recommending that the city clerk be that authorized representative, authorized project representative for this particular project due to the nature of ever-evolving staffing.
Okay.
If-
TJ, do we need to redo the motion?
Is it in the?
It's in the
It's
resolution.
And then you're
In the
good. Yeah,
resolution.
I think Barry was just making you.
Okay.
aware.
It was in the
Okay.
resolution, I say it.
Yep, yep,
Okay.
it's in the resolution.
Right there.
Okay, all right.
Outstanding.
I got you covered when it comes to water. Nobody knows.
Okay. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Barry. Next on the agenda is the North Centerville Road project contracts. Welcome back, Barry.
Thank you again, Mayor. Every other year, the city's small urban area has the opportunity to receive a grant to do road improvements. And that grant amount is up to $385,000. A couple years ago, the city, as part of the small urban area, selected North Centerville Road for a resurfacing project from US 12 up to just past the terminal building at the airport. Primarily, it's going to be a milling resurfacing project. There's going to be a little bit of ADA sidewalk ramp in the areas that we currently have sidewalk to meet ADA compliance, Newman and West. And then there's some ADA ramps up by Abbott Manufacturing where they have the parking lot on the west side that we need to take out some curb and change that. So the project was let by the state of Michigan on May 1st. The project bid tab was included in your packet. And there's the 3 bidders that the state had for this project. Reith Riley was the low bidder at $309,061.20, which was a substantial amount lower than the original project estimate for this project. Actually 32% less. So the contract that is in front of you this evening from MDOT was put together prior to the bid letting. So they used numbers in that contract, if you reviewed the contract, that were based on the engineer's estimate for this project and what we expected to have to spend to complete this project. However, we're going to be substantially less than that particular number. Contract outlines our interaction between the city and MDOT in regards to paying responsibilities pertaining to that project. We receive up to 81.85% of the participation ratio. It's normally an 80-20 grant, but they write their contracts slightly different. And so based on that and based on the as-bid amounts right now, the city's share of the project cost is going to be lower to approximately $56,094.61 plus construction engineering and construction administration costs and project closeout and construction material testing. So in addition to the contract this evening, we also have a project amendment from Fleece and Vandenbrink to do the oversight for this project. Project will not start until after the 4th of July due to Sturgis Fest, 4th of July, things of that nature, so it could probably start anytime after that time frame. Their amendment is for an amount, it is Amendment 3A, it is for an amount of $70,800 to oversee the project costs and contract administration and materials testing, which is actually part of their amendment to use a third-party testing firm. Lastly, as part of, you have the bid and costing spreadsheet available to you, Ken. So lastly, we are requesting a contingency budget of 10% of the construction contract, so $31,000 to cover anything that might crop up, although we don't anticipate anything. Original costing spreadsheet for this project, we originally budgeted $177,000, and with the modifications and to the bid amount, the low bid amount, and the construction phase engineering and contingency, we were about $19,000 under the budgeted amount that we had for this project. With that, I'll try to answer any questions you might have.
Love that you're under budget. Any questions for Barry?
I've got a question. Barry, does small urban grant apply just for major streets?
That's a very good question, Commissioner Burr. In actuality, we've had some discussions with MDOT Small Urban, and they are open, it has been, only for major streets. The next project that we have currently on deck for the city is Wenzel Avenue from M66 to South in Ottawa in 2028. Part of that is a major street, part of it is not, but it's considered a minor collector, and apparently MDOT is open to the idea of utilizing some of that small urban money on minor collectors as part of an overall project, instead of it being non-participating costs. So we could still do the remainder of Wenzel from Jefferson to Ottawa, which is the local portion, and it would normally be non-participating, which means the city pays 100%. But it does sound like they are kind of opening that up a little bit to allow, and it'll be $420,000 in 2028, not $385. So it's possible to use for certain local streets. I hope that
Right now,
answers.
if they tie in someplace somehow with a major street,
It's
like a split street, major and a local.
right. So if it was just a standard local street as opposed to a minor collector street, so they have other designations beyond just major and local, which is what we deal with Act 51. But actually, at the federal level, there's even a bigger breakdown of street types or designations, and minor collector is one of those. So it could be a major with a minor collector attachment, which is what Wenzel is at this
Okay.
point.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions for Barry? What's the wish of the commission?
Mr. Mayor, I move that the city commission approve the contract between the city of Sturgis and MDOT number 265137 for the completion of North Centerville Road resurfacing project, and authorize city manager Andrew Cook and Mayor Frank Perez to sign all necessary documents.
So we have a motion
Support.
and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the city commission approve amendment number 3A with Fleece Vanderbrink Engineering Incorporation for construction oversight, project administration, and materials testing service on the North Centerville Road resurfacing project in the amount of $70,800, and authorize the city manager to sign all necessary documents.
So we have a motion
Support.
and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the city commission approve a contingency budget for the North Centerville Road resurfacing project in the amount of $31,000.
So we have a motion
Support.
and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Barry. Next on the agenda is the wastewater treatment plant intermediate to screw pump design. Mr. Brandon Schrader, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Commissioners. Aligning with our wastewater treatment plant asset management plan, the intermediate clarifier number 1. Screw pump has been identified for replacement. The screw pump was installed back in 1985. This particular pump runs 24/7 nonstop while the intermediate clarifier number 1 is in service. This pump lifts the flow coming out of the contact stabilization up into intermediate clarifier number 1. If you remember this project we had, we replaced some pumps down in the basement of this particular building as well that went to this intermediate clarifier. Those serve as redundancy, so we were able to complete that project. So now that we have those done, now we can move on to this pump in particular. The project was originally budgeted for fiscal year 2026. We received some updated equipment costs quotes for the project, and we have identified that it will be need to move to 2027 due to increased cost and installation costs. The project will be included in 2027 with that revised project amount to reflect the the increased cost. And despite this delay, design for the project is being recommended for this year, 2026. Staff reached out to F&V for proposal for design, bidding, and construction phases services for this replacement project. F&V provided professional service agreement amendment number 9, the not to exceed amount of $51,800 for this work. Cost for these services will be covered with the $1 million originally budgeted for 2026 for the screw pump replacement. Little history lesson, the screw pump that we are talking, this is actually an Archimedes style pump that was actually originally developed, designed by a mathematician, Greek mathematician, back in 250 BC. So this style of pump has been around a long time and is actually one of very few of the oldest designed pumps that are still in service today. Basically, highly recommended for their simplicity and reliability. So just a little history lesson on the wastewater screw pump. Any questions?
I'm more
questions,
than
Brandon?
that, but I appreciate the history.
Thank you.
Any questions for Brandon?
Mr. Mayor, I move that the Sturgis City Commission approve professional service agreement amendment number 9 for Tyson Vanderbrick in the not to exceed amount of $51,800 as presented.
So we have a motion
Support.
and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is the Doyle roof bids and bonding resolution. Mr. Dan Rutt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. The Doyle Center roof was actually included as part of this current fiscal year budget. We've talked about this already. Just giving you a little history, we did request, staff requested published a request for information last summer to garner information from contractors and roofing professionals to define what the best option was for that roof. We were given three options, and we took those options to the Doyle Board for a recommendation. Following that recommendation, I brought that same information to the Commission and was given approval to move forward with the bidding process. The metal roof retrofit would include, we'll go back over that a little bit, include tearing off the TPO roof that was installed in 2013 on the lower slope sections of the roof that were damaged. And then installing new custom purlin systems over the entire roof, installing R19 insulation, and then a 24 gauge mechanical seam hidden fastener steel roofing system. Obviously, with the new insulation that would be installed as part of that process, it would improve the overall efficiency of the building. Bids were advertised on March 25th through BidNet, and specifically reaching out to 2 roofing contractors that we had discussions with as part of the request for information. The bids were received on April 20th, with 2 bids being received. The bid tabulation is included in your packet. The low bid for the project is from Newberry Square Construction of Shipshewana, Indiana, in the amount of $729,702.28. Staff recommends a contingency budget of $20,000 be included as part of this project. Fiscal year was $325,000, the amount that was ultimately significantly below the final estimated cost of the project. The Commission gave the direction to staff to pursue a private placement bond for the project as a method of financing. The next step in the process is approval of a resolution of intent to issue the bonds. A copy of the resolution is also included in your packet, which authorizes the publication of the intent to issue bonds. Approval for the bid for the project would be contingent on securing those bonds. Any questions?
Any questions for Dan?
I guess just one, if I could. If this, we pass this resolution and it comes to go seek the bond, how long a process is that, and when will the project be done? I don't recall when we were talking about this project being done. Next year?
No.
This year. So
Still
we have
this year?
this resolution. We have a 45-day referendum period. Anybody can come back. During that 45 days, I'll come back asking for your authorization for the bonds. Typically, it's a 2-week-ish time frame. We're going to have to do an RFP out to local banks, seeing what the appetite is for the bond, and we'll bring that back. So hopefully, I think there'll be an appetite in the current market for this type of bond. So it's going to be 45 days from now plus a couple more weeks after that, and then we can move forward with the project.
And then the project would be completed before winter this year?
Yes, that's the intent. Yeah, I've spoken with the contractor. They're
And that was the conversation we had.
I just
About
couldn't remember the
financing.
timeline.
A couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
So with this route, we're still able to go see the contractor is aware.
They're working on the assumption we're going to secure the bond.
And that's
they're
how
ready.
the bid was proposed,
Yep.
contingent upon financing.
Very good. Thank you.
Any other questions for Dan? What's the wish of the commission?
Mr. Mayor, I move that the city commission approve proposal for Newberry Square Construction to complete the Doyle Center roof retrofit in the amount of $729,702.28, contingent on securing a private replacement bond.
So we have a motion.
Support. Wait, I can't support my own.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
I'm not used to doing all this reading, I'm sorry. Mr. Mayor, I move that the Sturgis City Commission approve a contingency budget for the Doyle Center roof retrofit in the amount of $20,000.
So we have a motion?
Support.
And support, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the Sturgis City Commission adopt the notice of intent resolution for capital improvement bonds for the Doyle roof project as presented.
So we have a motion?
Support.
And support, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you, Dan. Next on the agenda is the City Hall exterior rehab bids. Dan, welcome back.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, included as part of the current fiscal year budget is the rehabilitation of the exterior for the City Hall and Sturgis District Library building. The rehabilitation project would include repair of all damaged areas, cleaning and recoating of all the exterior insulation and finish system, we'll call it EFIS for short, surfaces on the building. Several areas of the building, as you well know, were already repaired last summer because of the severe damage in front of the district library. This rehabilitation should take place every 10 years and last took place in 2014. Staff published the bids on March 25th on BidNet and specifically reached out to 2 contractors who've done this type of work for us in the past. 2 bids were received. The bids ranged from $74,800 to $83,979, and when reviewed, both were determined to have met the specification. Staff is recommending approval of the low bid from Premier Caulking of Grand Rapids, Michigan, the amount of $74,800. The current fiscal year budget includes $85,000 for the completion of this project, and as per the lease agreement with the district library, they will cover 60% of this cost, or $44,880. The city will cover the remaining $29,920. Any questions?
Great. Any questions for Dan?
Mr. Mayor, I move that the Sturgis City Commission approve the bid from Premier Caulking to complete the City Hall exterior rehab project in the $74,800 as presented.
So we have a motion?
Support.
And support, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Next on the agenda is the Sturgis Young Auditorium curtain bids. Dan Rupp.
As part of the continued effort to update the Sturgis Young Center for the Arts, included in the current fiscal year capital improvement budget was the replacement of the stage curtains in the auditorium. We developed a comprehensive bid specification with the help from several vendors that includes replacement of all the existing curtains, including the proscenium curtains, and also adds a side travel curtain for the option to black box the performance area on the stage. Staff also met with auditorium board members and representatives from several groups that use the auditorium on a regular basis annually to seek their input about the curtain replacement. The notice to bid included a base bid for curtains, and we also included an alternate to when we replace the curtains, we're going to have to rehang some lights and some of the electrical and the movie screen, different things like that. It's going to have to be raised up because we're actually raising the height of the curtains. The invitation to bid was advertised on April 1st on BidNet Direct, and bids were opened on April 27th with five bids being received. Those bids ranged from $96,471.83 to $200,811 and were reviewed by city staff. The low bid, when base and alternate pricing is considered, was from SLS Production Services, LLC, in the amount of $96,471.83. SLS included the rehanging work as part of their base bid. Staff is recommending approval of the bid from SLS. The city and SLS have worked together on numerous projects at the facility over the years, including upgrading sound systems, stage lights, and the orchestra pit cover. Current budget includes $150,000 for the completion of this work. That budget number was set as stage improvements, so there's a couple of other things we would like to do there. One specifically being the addition of some multiple receptacle circuits on, I don't know, stage right, stage left, the left side of the stage, because There are none there. That electrical work would help us accommodate certain acts, bands mostly, that need more power. The curtain project, added to the potential electrical work, would not exceed $115,000, substantially less than the $150,000 budgeted. There's a budget cost spreadsheet included that kind of breaks that down for you. We would, at this point, worst case scenario, electric, $12,000. We're still got roughly $41,500 left in that budget.
Question for you, Dan. Looking at the 108, but the motion on here says 96.
108 would be the total of the stage curtains and the electrical work.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Mr. Mayor, I need to excuse myself. My
Okay.
daughter has her last choir concert. So.
Okay, good. Have fun. Anybody have questions for Dan?
Yeah, just one. You said there are other additional projects that need to be worked in that $41,000 that's remaining on this?
We're kind of working on possibly replacing the stage loading doors that are original to the theater, but we're still working through that process, trying to gather all the budget numbers for that.
Okay, so there wasn't anything else specific that needed to be completed within this budget?
No, not specifically, no.
Okay.
If we can, we'd like to get that done this year.
Oh, sure, yeah, I
But,
just didn't know if
it's, yeah.
whatever else was left might be $80,000 worth of work that needs to be completed or something.
No, nothing substantial.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions for Dan?
I move that the Sturgis City Commission approve the proposal from SLS Production Services LLC to replace stage curtains in the amount of $96,471.83 as presented.
So we have a motion
Second.
and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, moving on to commissioner staff comments. We'll start with Ms. Sadie.
None for tonight, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Rhodes.
Nothing tonight, thanks.
Case. Officer Case, no? Heard some good things about you today. Andrew and I were at a meeting, and Iceberg thinks pretty highly of you. Thank you. Barry?
No.
Brandon? Will? Erica? That was not me. Dan?
I'll just move my mic over.
Anything from the meeting?
Yeah,
TJ?
little update, I guess you pointed out Deputy Chief Case back there in Iceberg. The police department has been very active out there. Today, the city had 9 trespass cases up today. Most of those originated from that property out there near the old Kirsch building, which was, if the commission remembers, kind of a focal point of some complaints early on. So the police department has been actively out there. We've been seeing a pretty high increase. I got my theories that weather's warming up, people are starting, get out there, but the police department's been very active. Unfortunately, for the 9 cases that were up, only 1 or 2 of the trespassers showed up for court, so bench warrants will be issued after a 48-hour hold. But to that point, they've been extremely active out there, so I would echo that. That was my update to the commission, that they've been increasing in the number of those trespass citations and enforcement under the police department. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Andrew?
Nothing this evening, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Commissioner Abs? Commissioner Board?
That is nice to hear, TJ, because it has been an ongoing, I keep hearing a lot of people complaining, and it seems to be getting pretty bad.
And the unfortunate part is it's a slow process.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're here today, and then in order for them to get arrested, in reality, the police department's going to have to run into them again somewhere out there and identify them, since, they are on hard times, don't have a place to live. The court can't mail them anything. There are no documents. There's no place to go. But I will say, as far as what tools we have as far as the enforcement side of things in the toolbox, they are utilizing those to the best of their ability from where I'm seeing it as a city attorney. And I know Attorney George in my office, who does a lot of the prosecution as well, is seeing the same thing.
Okay, great.
Commissioner Miller?
Yeah, I've got a few comments. I won't be painting for others a character witness of myself for my words that I'm going to share this evening, because simply the truth is on my side. Justice surrounding Andrew's resignation and closed session from April 8th has still not been delivered. The truth has not come out. And I've seen a lot of people wanting to treat this situation as perfectly normal, that it's just another day, just another meeting. And really, I truly do crave normal. I'd like to go back to before April 3rd as it pertains to my time on the City Commission. The destruction has yet to begin unfolding because Andrew is still our city manager. He's still here, thank God. Nothing has really changed materially yet. But the destruction will be very great in scope, as noted by Mr. Mike Ulanis earlier, when it does begin unfolding. Specifically, in Andrew's mutual separation agreement that was approved by the commission last meeting, Section 2 says, City agrees to pay Cook his regularly scheduled payroll, including benefits, as described in his employment contract and most recent addendum thereto, for the 12 months from his last day of employment. That's in a public document, the mutual separation agreement that was executed and approved by the commission last meeting. Mr. Reed, I'd like to ask you, and maybe Andrew has the answer too, was such a 12-month severance offered to Mike Hughes when he resigned as city manager? I know that a parting compensation was given as far as his compensation for retirement, but was such a 12-month severance offered when Mike Hughes resigned?
Not to my knowledge.
Yep. So when Mike Hughes resigned, there was not this severance. So the public is justifiably wondering, what happened? Why this severance? Why all the events that have been occurring the last month and a half? Again, I'd love to go back to normal. So there's that cost of what that 12 months severance is going to be. We can't pretend it doesn't exist. It's now approved in an agreement. Mr. Reed, I'd like to ask you, since approximately March 20th, have there been abnormal activities that will cause Bird Chesky, Reed Beamer, George, PC's regular fees to increase at all?
At this point, no. So the agreement that my office has with the
I'm
city-
surprised.
No.
Okay.
The way the agreement is in other state is we are on a retainer for the city. And so the only time there has to be special projects outside the scope of that agreement. And so there is none of those. So, other than the prosecution and certain other tasks are outside of it. So those have been up because of, I guess, the increased trespass enforcement. Other than that, no, our agreement does not increase the cost.
Well, I appreciate that for the city's sake. There will obviously be more costs. Who knows what the commission is going to choose to do as far as hiring a search firm? Question mark. A lot is still up in the air. That is yet to be decided. But there will be many significant dollar costs that come in the wake of what has happened. The reputational cost will be the worst. And again, Mr. Mike Ulanis actually touched on that. think he made roughly the same point. In my opinion, very few people at this point have any semblance of an idea of the damage that has been caused and the semi-forced, at least in my perception, resignation of Andrew Cook, who in my opinion is an extremely capable city manager and took on a sacrifice when he took the job however many years ago, 3 years ago, in a permanent format, at least 4 years ago. And so it comes to the elephant in the room question to the public who is asking collectively, I would estimate, what is going on at the city of Sturgis? That's a really good question, one that needs answered. And the answers, I'm really, really sad to say, unfortunately lie cloaked in having been found in closed session of this body. According to our legal counsel, correct me if I'm wrong, those are protected by closed session privilege, would be the correct term?
Under the Open Meetings Act, the minutes and the discussion from closed session are protected.
And that is very, very frustrating. However, I abide by what our legal counsel has told us. There has absolutely been wrongdoing, though, and it was found in closed session, which I did not somehow just invent. But I want to talk about a possible solution that I have tonight. On Monday night, I was alerted to by my wife to a very interesting YouTube video. It was quite a surprise, Mayor Perez. I think you made some very high claims. You told some lies. And I want to address those and rebut.
Do you want to continue to cause further damage?
It is you who has caused the damage.
I didn't engage with the media, you did.
Hold on, I want to address that. Frank, you said multiple times that I called the media. The media are actually, some of the media are here and could refute my claim if I am incorrect in their view, but I never called the media.
And the article said you reached out to him via phone.
I reached back to Maxwell Knauer, I believe, correct? But you called me first, right? Yes. Okay. So you said that multiple times without knowing the truth. And when you say, I think, that's making an assumption. When you say broadly to a large YouTube audience that Aaron called the media, Aaron reached out to the media several times, that's a lie. And you could have called me and asked me, Aaron, I want to clarify something with you, but you, of course, chose not to.
I have a text saying you don't want me to call you.
No, that is not quite the case, but this is my time, Mayor Perez.
You got it.
So I never reached out to any member of the media after April 22 to levy comment. I also never presented anything other than my comments that were shared in the wake of Andrew's resignation. I never presented anything at the meeting April 22. Commissioner Mullins actually presented a couple of resolutions. I wish I had. They were quite well worded. Speaking of Commissioner Mullins, you implied in your video that Jeff apparently woke up one day and just decided completely out of the blue to go after you and that this was started by him. That is a lie. For that to happen, you're essentially claiming that Jeff somehow secretly arranged Andrew's resignation simultaneously as a cover. Jeff magically caused there to be a mutual separation agreement with a 12-month severance that neither he nor I supported when it came down to voting for it. We also apparently invented two closed sessions, one on April 8th and one on April 22. The April 22nd closed session that I voted against to cause the appearance that something was going on for a cover. We also somehow coerced the resignation of who was sitting there, former Commissioner Linda Harrington. You implied several times that we have invented this whole scheme to go after you, and you labeled it several times as bullying. And those pieces just don't add up. That would be a very high conspiracy. I don't have that talent, time, or influence. You said things like bullying is real, making accusations that you can't back up. I don't have any pending charges. I didn't interrupt Jeff Mullins from speaking. I didn't interrupt Aaron Miller from speaking. I don't know what that has to do with. Again, you said he reached out to the media. The emotional trauma for my kids that Aaron Miller and Jeff Mullins created is totally way out of line. We didn't create this. Commissioner Mullins, did you create this situation?
Did not.
No. Again, you raised the claim a few times that I did something on April 22nd. I actually didn't do that. Commissioner Mullins introduced a couple of resolutions. But if something wrong has been done, I just want to make clear, it is not I who am bringing trauma somehow. If something has truly been done wrong and there are ramifications in the wake of that, it is the one who has done wrong who is causing trauma or other consequences. You named my employer when talking about me in this video without talking to me prior or alerting me or giving me a chance to respond. You later implied somehow that my superior or my leadership may be pressuring me or may be prone to pressuring me to do what I'm doing. That is a high claim, and it is purely not true. Can you elaborate on what you meant? And this is still my time, but can you elaborate on that?
I'm committed to doing the right thing by the community.
Why did you mention my employer like that?
I'm committed to do the right thing by the community.
Okay.
Not what you say, what you think is going to change. What's doing is right is right.
What's right is right. I've heard that a lot. And I think what you mean when you say that is what I believe is right is right. And Mr. Michaelinas roundly addressed that as well. When you were questioned about the concept of following the law, you really didn't say anything about honoring the law at all. Instead, you made the point about how slavery was once legal, and that sort of led to an implication that following the law is therefore bad or therefore defensible. Can you expand on what area of Michigan law today rises to the level of moral reprehensibility that slavery did?
Are you saying that's okay? Slavery was okay here? Is that what you're saying?
I never said that. I'm saying, can
Is
you
that what you're
cite
saying?
can you cite Michigan law that is current law that rises to the level of moral reprehensibility
I don't know
as slavery?
Why you want to continue to go down this path. You're
Oh, I'd
causing
say it
further
was-
damage to the community than anything else.
Again, you're implying that I invented this situation. We have a city manager who has resigned, and it's not been at my doing. When discussing the notion of whether you have guilt or not, you quite interestingly said multiple times, no charges have been brought against me. Which is interesting because if somebody has had charges brought against them, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Reed, that does not imply guilt whatsoever if someone has charges brought against them.
Correct, innocent until proven guilty.
Okay. But when asked about innocence, you repeatedly said, no charges have been brought against me. You never said unequivocally that you are innocent here. So I'd like to ask a simple yes or no question. We're not under oath here, but before the public, before our live stream, which I'm thankful for, we are open in the court of public opinion. Yes or no? have you broken Michigan law as it pertains to the duties of a city commissioner during your time as mayor?
That has nothing to do with doing the right thing, Aaron. You're causing further damage to our community. We have a lot of work to do, and we have to hire a city manager. And you continuing to engage this way is not helping us.
Yes or no? Okay. I'd like to leave matters of illegality, and I'd like to talk about how we treat our city manager and city staff. I've watched for 4.5 years. I've been on the commission for that long. I've watched the negative text messages on our commissioner chat. Those are all foiable, but they're not immediately 24/7 accessible to the public. And I was frustrated about those negative texts, most often toward our city manager, Andrew Cook. There was really nothing I could do about it. That's frustrating for me. I've watched him and department heads be treated like garbage in open meetings. Those have not been cloaked in closed session. I remember 3 years ago when our old DPS director, Rick Miller, was at this stand right here, and he was questioned like a criminal defendant on lawn mowing bids, and that discussion item took 50 minutes. And he retired soon after that. He left. And I talked to him afterward. He was frustrated. A very capable and honorable man. In my estimation, had had enough. And you can treat people that way as an elected official. There's no rule. Again, I'm leaving illegality for a little bit. There's no rule saying that you can't treat someone like garbage. However, what you will do is you will absolutely run good people out the door. In my estimation, I believe that Andrew has politely stepped aside and said it's not worth it anymore. And that's extremely sad given, again, how capable a leader he is and has been, and how honorable a human being I know he is. And now he's gone. To say I'm disappointed about that doesn't really cut it. So Frank, why I'm doing this is because without the core issues being addressed, that again, I didn't invent, the same thing will happen to the next city manager until addressed. And the city of Sturgis will suffer for that. That is not my creation. I didn't invent all of what has happened here. You keep implying that I have. You didn't answer my question. It's been kind of pivoted, deflected several times that I've heard to a reason that we as a city commission have no goals and objectives. Mayor Perez, you've been on the commission since May 2022, as far as I remember. So that'd be around 48 public meetings in which you could have introduced a set of commission goals on paper and said, I move approval of this set of proposals. And it would require a second. And if a second was obtained, there would be a vote that could take place on whatever the proposal was. But you never introduced anything. And you've been the mayor for 2.5 years. So pointing the finger and blaming and saying that this should have been done, and this is the fault, where has been a proposal that's been introduced? Moreover, an additional point, I know the the endorsement in the vote as mayor in November is just that vote. But it has seemed that you've had an endorsement from a majority of this commission for the last 2.5 years being mayor. Seemingly, you would have had the votes to pass whatever you wished. So pointing at that reason, why didn't you introduce something? If that's the fault of what's going on here.
After that?
Yeah?
Yeah, we did do, I did solicit goals and objectives for the commissioner. And I presented those to Andrew, and we talked about those yesterday during the budget process. And they were outlined.
I'm talking about before. You're blaming the fact that we haven't had them for why this happened.
I did do it. We got it set up, and we got them over to Andrew, and we discussed them yesterday at the budget meeting.
Just now, yesterday, okay.
Wasn't that the evaluation you came up with those?
Yeah, I did the evaluation tool last year. And we did a new evaluation tool, so that was completed. And as part of the evaluation tool, the goals and objectives were gathered from the commission. And Andrew and I decided to wait till this budget season to incorporate them, and that's why we discussed them yesterday. Right, Andrew?
But a focal point of your video, not mine, they were your comments. A focal point of your blame was that the city commission just didn't get goals, didn't have goals.
We
That was on
unfortunately
you.
don't speak as a body, and we do need goals and objectives. We do need goals and objectives so we can say, commission, all of us, this is the plan, this is what we're working toward, and when we reset in November, here's the manager evaluation tool, and here's the tools. So we can all speak as a body, and we're not doing that yet.
They were never introduced. Why, in your estimation, did former Commissioner Linda Harrington resign, Frank?
You need to ask her.
No, that's not what I asked.
You
I
need to
said,
ask
why,
her.
in your estimation?
I can't speak to her.
Okay. It's just puzzling that all of this has happened simultaneously. There are things that we've all said we can't share. We're both abiding by the instructions of our legal counsel. Again, I don't like it. But this can be rectified. I would like to rectify it. I would release these details to the public yesterday, if I could. And I understand from Mr. Reed that if an investigation were to take place, the goal of such an investigation could be that those details could be released to the public, correct, Mr. Reed?
So,
If the commission were to do an investigation, my recommendation would be that it would be ordered that my office would facilitate that with a neutral third party. It would be attorney work product. My recommendation would be the commission would review that by whoever would be an investigator in that situation. And at that time, the city commission would have the ability to determine what, if anything, from a report could be released if it was not protected. There are many items and information that may come about during talking and speaking that would be protected information or not subject to FOIA, and that would be subject to redaction. But ultimately, if attorney work product or confidentiality is to be waived, the commission must make that as a whole. They would have to agree to that. I would never recommend anybody agree to that up front. If an investigation were to take place, my recommendation would be, since this is information, some of which is subject to confidentiality and other exempt materials, that would be held off for a later discussion or determination.
So again, the public has been confused for quite some time, and I understand about why is somebody saying something and not sharing? And I hope I've explained fairly clearly why what I would like to share is not shareable. So, given what Mr. Rita said, I have a resolution tonight that I'd like to put myself on the record for. I'd like to open this up. There are details that need to absolutely be seen. I'm making some high claims. And I'm willing to put myself on the record and see if they're true. And I'm going to read the resolution for everybody to hear. I have paper copies as well. And really, I think it's fairly simple. If there is no wrongdoing, Aaron Miller must be the biggest conspiracy theorist there ever was. And the investigation would be a large nothing burger with a side of fries. And I'd look pretty foolish. If there was wrongdoing, then I'm right. And it should be investigated. So, this is a resolution I'm presenting, and this will classify as a motion. I move that we approve this resolution, and I'd like to read it. A resolution calling for investigation of wrongdoing by certain commissioners. Whereas there is reasonable cause to believe that there has been specific wrongdoing by certain commissioners, and whereas that wrongdoing at the very worst directly led to the resignation of City Manager Andrew Cook, and at the very best played an integral part in that resignation. Now therefore be it resolved that the Sturgis City Commission directs that an independent investigation by outside counsel be executed that investigates Commissioners Perez, Burr, and Abbs, as well as former Commissioner Linda Harrington, for potential violations against specific pieces of Michigan law and its various associated case law, Sturgis City Commission procedure, and the Sturgis City Charter. And be it further resolved that the investigation reveal its contents, findings, and recommendations to the Sturgis City Commission for its review and the general public in the interest of openness and transparency. And be it further resolved that the outside counsel question the legal counsel for the City of Sturgis, City Manager Andrew Cook, all 8 commissioners elected and serving on the Sturgis City Commission, and any other staff or individuals as deemed necessary by the outside counsel. The way I see it, this resolution will either prove me right or will deliver the nothing burger. I move its approval.
I am a second.
I'd like a roll call vote, Mr. Clerk,
Discussion?
when we get there. I'd like a roll call vote, and I'd like it to be printed in the minutes, please.
Well, I think it's proper to have the discussion after the motion and support.
Oh,
prior to the vote.
when we get there.
Okay,
Yeah.
prior to vote. Okay, I thought you meant, all right, good.
I certainly agree with Commissioner Miller that it is a shame that due to law, we're not able to be fully transparent. We're not even close to it. I don't think this takes care of all of it. And I also agree with you, Commissioner Miller, that we are responsible to follow the law. You have not discussed with me any of this, And yet you felt free to go say to the media that I am flippant about the law. And I just want to state that is not true. I'm not flippant about the law. If indeed I broke one of these laws, I'm responsible for it. And I take full responsibility for it. Something to learn from. The sad thing is, this only addresses the part, because the part that our city attorney just said, you know what's all going to be redacted. I also, I can only speak for myself. Any conversation that took place. Okay, no, am I allowed to say that it did not involve Andrew?
No?
Okay. I don't.
All right.
Okay.
I think it'd be a good time if somebody make I would recommend.
I made a motion.
Closed session regarding.
Well,
I think this discussion needs to be taken
Yeah, we should have this
in
discussion.
open meeting.
Well, if you
Let's
wanna-
have it in
I
open
can't
meeting.
say.
Are you willing to waive attorney-client confidentiality and waive all the protections that are entitled there? I think it's a little more complex than that.
Yep.
My opinion is you shouldn't, and you should have the guidance, as I do have a written opinion as to what happens, where the line is at with closed session.
Are you going to want us to
divulging
go
that.
to closed session?
I'm fine with that. If the commission wants to go a different direction, that's your decision. That's, again, you make the decisions, I don't.
I think this is great, Aaron. But if you're gonna do this, you're gonna have to bring out the allegations.
Again,
that come with it.
Again.
No, I'm not saying
but you just
details.
did. Yeah, you just did.
You're gonna have to do it all.
The problem is, he doesn't have the authority to waive it all.
Like I said.
If you'd like to go into closed session, I have a written opinion that can lay it out and explain it. If you want to continue to flirt with the line of where you're at, that's your decision, but it needs to be known that my recommendation is you take a pause. We go into closed session. It won't be long. Then we can come back and have the discussion.
And there is a motion on the
You
table.
would have to rest that motion.
Which would be addressed after
There's a rest
closed
after
session
the
if we go in.
closed
I move to go into closed session to hear the attorney's opinion.
So that's a motion.
Second?
Roll call, St. Clair?
Commissioner Burr,
No.
Commissioner Boring,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiki, Commissioner Smith.
No.
I want to keep track. Hold on.
Is that your recommendation?
Commissioner Abs,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Nay.
Vice Mayor Mullins,
Yes.
Mayor Perez.
Yes.
Is it 4-4? Wait, no, we've got 1, 2, yeah, it's 4-3, yes, so.
But we need, hold on.
we
We
need
need a majority of those elected and serving, correct?
We need 2/3 for a
Two-thirds
closed
of those
session.
Oh, and 2/3 anyway, of elected and serving.
No, 2/3 of those present for procedural closed session.
Oh, okay.
So that motion is defeated.
Correct.
I believe we have a motion and a second on the floor for to direct the city attorney to seek outside third-party investigative firm, I guess, for lack of better words, to look into if there are any improper behaviors of the city commission, and I, for one, am all about that.
To accept the resolution.
To pass the resolution.
The resolution authorizing what was said.
For everything.
That is not what the resolution says, so again.
That's for this, right?
No, that's for this.
That's just for this.
If you don't want to take my advice, don't take my advice.
So you're saying no?
But no, that's not what I'm saying. What you just said was something different that's in the resolution. You can't change the resolution by just saying something. If you want to change the resolution to something other than that, the motion would have to be defeated. You would then have to propose a different resolution or a different motion, is what I'm saying. But what you're saying can't be done, and it needs the guidance. That's why I have the motion to go into close. That's why I have the guidance of how that would look in an attorney opinion if the commission wanted to do that. However, it's clear that that is not the desire, and that's fine by me. But if the motion on the floor is for the resolution as presented. So if there wants to be modification, there can be the request to the motioner and the seconder to make an amendment to that resolution, but it would need support by the person who presented as well as the person who made the second. Otherwise, you'd have to bring it after the fact. So
I like the resolution as I've written it. I think it's pretty clear.
So
I think that we're at a crossroad here as a commission, and we need to all look at ourselves, take a deep look inside, and decide what is it that we want. Do we want to be seen as transparent as the elected officials of those that we represent, or do we feel comfortable hiding behind the curtain of secrecy and protection? And I'm on the side of taking potential corrective action if needed. We don't know if there's corrective action even needed yet without investigating to assure that we have effective and transparent city governance. So this is why I support this motion, this proposal.
I support it too, as long as we're gonna talk, just investigate.
That's good to hear.
It's not in the motion.
But it's not in the motion. So do you want to change your motion?
I don't understand what there is to change.
There is a motion for a specific resolution that I've handed to you all in writing to pass the resolution. So I'm not understanding your question. The resolution is very clear. So it is to pass the resolution, and I'm not removing that motion.
Any further discussion?
Question? So, if this did not pass as is, it does not mean that we couldn't come back with
sure, you could
something similar.
Sure. You could bring back another motion, similar. Absolutely.
I'll be
If it was changed, I mean,
next meeting. If it fails tonight, I'll be bringing it back again next meeting.
and somebody could make another motion tonight to change it. I mean, if this failed, you can bring another motion. But yes, you're correct, Commissioner Abs.
Roll call, City Clerk.
Commissioner Boring,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
No.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiki, Commissioner Abs,
No.
Commissioner Burr,
No.
Vice Mayor Mullins,
Yes.
Mayor Perez.
No.
Motion is defeated, 4-3.
I have a second resolution calling for the censure of Mayor Frank Perez. I'd like to read this one out loud too, and I've got paper copies. a resolution calling for the censure of Mayor Frank Perez. Whereas the oath of office for a Michigan elected official as prescribed by the Michigan Constitution of 1963, Article 11, Section 1, is as follows. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this state, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of City Commissioner, in this case, according to the best of my ability. And whereas Mayor Frank Perez represents an inherent lack of willingness to adhere to Michigan law, and instead has repeatedly given evidence for his belief in his view being the right view instead of Michigan law being the right view. Now therefore be it resolved that the Sturgis City Commission censures Mayor Frank Perez, calling upon him to henceforth adhere to Michigan law in honor of his oath he has taken multiple times to the residents of the city of Sturgis. And I move approval when it comes. I would like a roll call vote for that. And Mr. Clerk, I'd like that printed in the minutes if you don't mind as well, please. Thank you.
So
That's a
we have
motion.
Motion?
I will second the motion.
Any further discussion?
Mayor Perez, when you've been asked twice now by Commissioner Miller, are you answering that you will not follow the law?
No, I will follow the
No,
law.
because
I will
that's been
follow
asked
the-
twice.
I will follow the law.
The answer came, and the answer was not, your answer was not that. Your answer was, the one time right is right. And like, this evening, to be honest, I can't remember exactly what it was. But there was question about the law. And I think your answer, that's why I'm asking you right now.
No, I will follow the law.
Because I
Yeah, follow the law.
but the answer was left not decisive, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
It wasn't. And I recognize that this is the second time. So I'm asking you.
No, I'll follow the law. That's not an issue. But I will continue to do the right thing for my community.
You can understand where
Yes,
that
yeah,
is
yeah,
questionable.
Yep, I understand.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Roll call, City Clerk.
Commissioner Abs,
No.
Commissioner Wiki, Commissioner Smith,
No.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Burr,
No.
Vice Mayor Mullins,
Yes.
Commissioner Boring,
Yes.
Mayor Perez.
No.
4 votes, 4 nay votes to 3 yea votes. Motion is defeated.
That is all the comment I had this evening.
Commissioner Burr.
I got lots of comments, but I don't want to waste everyone's time, so I will say not tonight. Thank you, Your Honor.
Commissioner Smith.
I've got nothing.
Vice Mayor Mullins.
Yeah, since the last meeting, April 22nd, I've had an extraordinary amount of people reaching out to me in many different ways, via text, phone call, running into them at different places here and there. But when I say an extraordinary number of people, I mean an extraordinary number. It's not a dozen people. It's an extraordinary amount of people. Most of them, you know, but some of them I know very, very well. Some of the people I'm familiar with, and I just lost touch with, and And there are others yet that are people who I don't even know who have reached out to me. And those are the ones that hit me the hardest. They were saying things such as, "I appreciate the stand you made." Another one said, "Keep up the good fight." Another one said, thanks for trying to instill sanity." But the comment that sticks with me most is the one that said, "Keep pursuing the truth." And I couldn't agree more with Mr. Miller and his comments tonight. I supported both of his motions. We're not on some colluding bandwagon thing here together, trying to force our will on anybody here. We're independent of one another and not working as a team together, trying to bring down a particular commissioner or anything like this. It's just honest, ethical, and legal behaviors to get to the point that we're at here tonight, in agreement with one another. I keep hearing that person say, "Keep pursuing truth," and that's from a person I've never even met them, but they reached out to me. So I am and I was prepared to take necessary action to get to the truth, because I took my oath and I promised to faithfully discharge the duties of city commissioner according to the best of my ability, and that's what I intend to do. It saddens me that the majority of us sitting here tonight don't see it in the best interest of the ones that we represent, that elect us into office, to make sure that we are running a transparent operation here at the front of the room. It's very disappointing that some feel that their personal appearance maybe is more important than the health of the city at large. And I'm telling you this, as Commissioner Miller has expressed tonight, as did Mr. Michaelinas when he was in the room. It's a dangerous precedent, and we've got things here that are happening that shouldn't be happening anywhere. And I think the best action is to nip it in the bud. If everybody here is sitting here saying, "Hey, nothing was wrong, nothing was done wrong," let's pull that investigation. And I believe that should be brought up again at the next meeting and the next meeting until we do get to the bottom of these things, and the public gets the answers that they're demanding from me, from us. On that matter, that's all I will say tonight. But I will end with this, that we don't have to agree on anything to be kind to one another. So let's still all be kind to one another. I yield. Thank you.
Well, it's another great meeting tonight.
You didn't ask Betsy and her comments?
Yeah, Kathy already had a chance.
Started there.
I started with Kathy.
I zoned out.
I think that we do need to be transparent, but there's things that both you, Vice Mayor Mullins, and Mayor Miller, who have turned a blind eye to all these accusations. And unfortunately, I can't disclose those. And I know Aaron's dying for me to release it.
Yeah, you're doing
it. But I won't. And I will continue to do right by my community, the community that I love. And I will continue not to turn the blind eye and continue to serve the people of Sturgis. And I found an interesting quote as we were going through not only today, but April 22nd and the things following, because I personally feel this is a personal attack on bullying. So, as parents, we spend so much time worrying about whether our children are fitting in that we forget to teach them the value of standing apart. We want them to be liked. We want them to be included and to navigate the world without friction. But that ease often comes at the cost of their own integrity. The reality is, if you live with conviction, you will essentially become an inconvenience to people who don't. We need to teach our children that being disliked by the wrong people isn't failure. It's often a sign of success. It means the boundaries are working. It means there's none. It means no has weight. It means that they have refused to shrink themselves to fit into a room that was never meant for them. Our job isn't to protect them from judgment of the crowd. It's to fill them up so completely at home that when they don't go looking, so that they don't go looking for validation from people they don't even respect. We want to raise humans who are solid enough to endure the noise of the world without letting it change their tune. Don't just raise them to be accepted. Raise them to be unsinkable. Teach your kids that being hated by fools is often the price you pay for refusing to become one of them. And with that, I stand committed to my community. I am not going to let two people bully me around because I love this community so much. If we want to be transparent, let's be transparent with it all. And with that, folks, have a great rest of your work week. Meeting adjourned.